Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and it's the 16th of December. We are starting a new week. The indices are looking healthy. That makes me always happy. Dow is up 0.19%. S&P futures are up 0.23%, and Nasdaq is up a healthy 0.43%. So what could go wrong? Now, when I come to the headlines, it's a very different feeling altogether. We have this huge headline here which says MicroStrategy shares jump as Bitcoin proxy will join Nasdaq 100 index and QQQ ETF. So this thing really makes me question the entire premise of using QQQ in our analysis. I just want to give you a brief overview of what MicroStrategy is all about. If you go into Wikipedia and look at the company MicroStrategy, it all started somewhere in 1989 as a consulting firm. And let us fast forward to more recent history. On June 11th, 1998, MicroStrategy became a public company via initial public offering. In 2000, the company founded Alarm.com as part of its R&D unit. On March 2000, after reviewing its accounting practices, the company announced that it would restate its financial results for the preceding 2 years. Its stock price, which had risen from $7 per share to as high as $333 per share in a year, fell to $120 per share, or 62% in a day, in what was regarded as the bursting of the dot-com bubble. In December 2000, the US Securities and Exchange Commission brought charges against the company and its executives. A lawsuit was subsequently filed against MicroStrategy and certain of its officials over fraud. In December 2000, Saylor, Bunsell, and the company's former CFO settled with the SEC without admitting wrongdoing, each paying $350,000 in fines. The officers also paid a combined total of $10 million in disgorgement. The company settled with the SEC, hiring an independent director to ensure regulatory compliance. Now, fast forward, in February 2020, the company announced MicroStrategy 2020. Saylor resigned as CEO effective August 8, 2022. Phong Le, who had been president, succeeded him. Saylor remains the executive chairman of MicroStrategy. In a press release announcing the transition, Saylor said that he would focus on the company's Bitcoin acquisition strategy and Phong would manage the overall corporate operations. And in August 2020, MicroStrategy invested $250 million in Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset, citing declining returns from cash, a weakening dollar, and other global macroeconomic factors. The company went on to make several additional large purchases of Bitcoin. As of September 19, 2022, MicroStrategy and its subsidiaries held approximately 130,000 Bitcoin. Acquired at an aggregate price of $3.98 billion. On an average, the purchase price is $30,639 per Bitcoin. And Saylor is the main driver behind this strategy. And now we have MicroStrategy in QQQ. And if you look at the history of Bitcoin, like if you see what is happening with Bitcoin out here, Bitcoin is a highly volatile coin, and the prices have been going up and down. This is not what a general investor likes to have. An index investor is typically risk averse and doesn't want too much of complications and want a straightforward product that can not only protect him from inflation, but also give a little bit of return. And pushing Bitcoin into that mix is, I think, a wrong approach. And now QQQ is not purely an equity play. It's got crypto into it. So I'm not very excited about this. And then, of course, we have the performative politics again, like SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son to announce $100 billion investment in US during visit with Trump. We have seen this movie before. There were investment commitments made to build a huge factory. I think Foxconn did that and nothing came out of it at the end of it. But anyway, this is the world that we live in. So as retail investors, we have to keep our eyes wide open. There is no point talking about these politics because nobody's going to listen to us. We are not here to change the world. We are here to preserve our earnings, our savings, and maximize the returns by avoiding the risks. So I'm going to look at QQQ very differently going forward. So that said, I think I'd like to go and have a look at the Tradingview platform and see what is happening out here. And NASDAQ futures are absolutely positive. They are up 0.37% as we speak, and we are brushing against the diagonal line of resistance. Today may be the day when we break out on the upside because MACD is bullish and momentum is also picking up. So it seems like we are going to convert this diagonal line of resistance finally into a line of support if everything goes well. Next, I'm going to look at AI. And in AI, we got Google, which is up 0.98% pre-market. It's looking pretty good out here, and it has already met our reverse head and shoulder target, and it created a new support, and that support has now become its resistance at 192.84 because we have fallen below it. But I have not changed the color because in pre-market trading, the price has gone above that resistance, so it's still a support for us, and hopefully it will stay so. Our MACD is weakening and momentum is also dropping, but they're all at very elevated levels, so there is no immediate danger at this point of time. Tesla still has room to move because MACD and momentum indicate that there is more juice in the tank. Apple is kind of consolidating. It's up 0.25% in pre-market trading. It has been hitting at the RSI resistance that we have plotted out here. So I think more consolidation or probably a move downward is in order because MACD is also weakening. Meta is up 0.66% in pre-market action. And I think that Meta might consolidate today because it's saturated on the RSI, and the MACD is kind of becoming weak, moving towards the signal line. There's a drop in the RSI, so I'm thinking that Meta is probably going to move a bit sideways today. Amazon is up 0.55%, still riding comfortably on the diagonal line of support we have here. Momentum and MACD are both elevated, but they are kind of cooling off, so expect a little bit of consolidation, potentially the ability to probably continue riding on top of the diagonal line of support, but hugging it to a good extent. That's what I'm thinking will be the move there. Microsoft is up 0.14%, cooling, going sideways, consolidating. AMD is up 0.35%, looking pretty weak on the charts. FNGU is up 1.81%, and it's going way beyond what I expected. I exited very early, and I dare not get into it right now. Because the chart, even though shows that there is a lot of juice left in the tank, many of these companies are very close to their RSI overbought levels. So I would be careful. Broadcom has had a huge gap up thanks to the recent news. And we have Oracle, which is up 0.1%. It had been very strong, consolidating, had a gap up. It's come down and filled up the gaps. But it's still in a situation where it has plenty more risk on the downside as compared to the upside. Looking a bit weak right now after a sterling performance. There is one more gap down to be filled up. Next, Palantir. I think Palantir is very highly valued, richly valued, and there was a divergence that we saw, bearish divergence that we saw, which is kind of correcting up. Palantir will consolidate a little bit more before making any movements. So that's overall, I think, what I would like to talk about in terms of AI. I don't want to go through the entire list right now. Let's switch gears, get into genomics. And in genomics, Verve is flat in pre-market trades. Ginkgo Bioworks is up 0.95% in pre-market. Caribou Biosciences is down 0.52% pre-market. CRISPR Therapeutics is at an all-time low of around 43.78 in pre-market trade. Yesterday, we went ahead and touched the bottom support of 42.84. So I think to many people, CRISPR will look very tempting purchase at this point of time, but we are not seeing any mending in the MACD or in the momentum, so I'll wait and watch what happens. Pre-market, it is flat. Grail is down 0.72% in pre-market trades. Prime is the next one, which is up 0.35% in pre-market trades, but very weak indeed on all the charts. Beam Therapeutics is up 0.97%. Alt Immune is up 1.99%. I'm waiting patiently for it to cross $10. I have some out here. I'm still holding on. The chart is not looking that great, but we are still riding a gentle bull channel, so I'm okay with that. Bluebird Bio is down minus 5.36% in pre-market trades. Allogene is up 5.29% in pre-market trades. And then we have ARCG, which is up 0.57% in pre-market trades. And PACB is up 1.02% in pre-market trade. Intelia 0.39% up. Illumina is down 0.19%. I'm still thinking it is riding this bull channel, so I'm not that much worried. But we are coming closer to a sell signal because this blue line and the red line are coming closer together. IMTX is flat pre-market. Editas is up 0.69% in pre-market trades. Iowa is up 0.51%. And Unicure is up 2.26%, very nicely consolidating out here, but it has got to fill up the gap up that has happened. So the magnet is pulling it downwards. Let us see what happens with Unicure. It will be predominantly driven by clinical data that's coming out soon. So that's what I have for you guys, and I'd like to hear from you what you think about my thoughts around QQQ and the inclusion of MicroStrategy and the prospects for Bitcoin. With that, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.